Hello and welcome back to MCNN. My name is Lyric.
And I'm Salem.
And we are back with all the latest secret shenanigans from Secret Life Week 3.
We have to begin with a very disappointing development from player PearlescentMoon. Due to unforeseen circumstances and unclicked buttons, Pearl was not able to record the back half of this week's session. Fortunately, she was able to reconstruct the missing footage from other people's backup recordings, but anyone who wants additional clarity on what Pearl was up to should check out Etho and Martin's episodes.
This week also saw the introduction of another fun new mechanic for the season. Yellow Lives are allowed to guess people's tasks once, and if they guess correctly, that person fails their task. Martin handled this responsibility with maturity and grace.
Your imaginary friend that you have to pretend you have for the task this week. What?
But more on that later.
First, we have a special report on the return of some other Life series contestants in a segment we're calling Fumble Life.
I thought it was Flopple Life? Flubble Life?
Double Life 2!
Oh, yeah. Take it away, Lille.
This week was all about bonding, whether that meant cementing a new team or putting a task success into the hands of others.
What can I do to make your task successful?
Be better at the game, Scar, preferably.
Skiz's task this week sent him looking for his other half on the server. He had to find someone else with a matching assignment, but accidentally spilled the beans to Smallishbeans.
Hey, good job, Martin. And guess what? I was the other half, and I blew it.
However, Skiz got to complete a different task close to his heart. After recruiting Bigby to the Heart Foundation, Tango, Bigby, and Skiz got started on their goal of endearing their team to all the other players by randomly selecting one player to gift all of their hearts each session. Since Tango's condition for this was that Skiz do the redstone for the randomizing, they had to do some mental RNG this time to find the recipient of their 3 gift hearts.
So 1 plus 4 is 5, so 5 minus 3, so 2.
1 plus 2 plus 2 plus
so
1.
it is Etho.
3 hearts were also the magic number for Mumbo, whose task put him into the position of Scar's bodyguard. And getaway driver?
Wait a second.
Ooh, okay, alright, so that's 1.
Have you hired me as a getaway driver?
Yes, you are my getaway driver.
Despite Mumbo's best attempts, nothing is ever truly Scar safe, so he was doomed to fail from the beginning.
Okay. Impossible.
This does sound oddly familiar to fans of the Life series.
No.
Come
Ready.
back here, little fella.
Not a...
Come back.
Deja vu, anyone?
Not deja vu, but it's another version of vu.
Speaking of deja vu, a different set of task buddies, Bigby and Joel, were both tasked with inducing a sense of deja vu in their fellow server mates by eavesdropping on other people's conversations and then repeating them back to them. Bigby stuck it out until the end, but despite approaching multiple players and repeating things they'd just heard, no one quite took the bait.
Dude, what is this?
What?
Skiz said the exact same thing to me. Is this like a thing where you have to start a rumor, but then it has to go round?
Wait, what?
And then other people say it?
Who said that?
He just said the same thing, Tango, that Skiz said to me.
Joel actually rerolled his task for a hard one, since he deemed it A, too difficult to complete, and B, much funnier, despite Grian with the threat of losing 10 more hearts. Why was the threat to Grian? Because of his task to match Joel's heart losses, which, despite being allowed to, he probably shouldn't have told Joel about.
How many hearts you on?
It's not important. I don't need to share that information with you.
-2.
Joel, why?
In an effort to both minimize the damage he would be forced to replicate, and also resolve his issue of having no friends on the server, Grian appointed himself Joel's bodyguard and constant companion, something that proved easier said than done. Joel's hard task required the presence of the entire server, so they could bond over his epic water bucket clutch.
Oh, here he goes!
Oh my gosh, he's coming!
Again, is anybody else having deja vu? Wait, never mind. That one worked. Back to you, Lyric.
The server saw several new people joining the Yellow Lives as they died in increasingly comical ways. Jimmy was the first one down this week, dying to a Goonies reference that has crossed over from Decked Out too.
Hey, Jimmy, watch out for Willie! Don't let the Willie get you!
They've got
Willie!
Oh gosh, it's getting closer. I gotta go. Oh no, there's a drowned. No!
Jem was the next to die, losing an epic battle against an Enderman. And while we've already covered Joel's death in a task-related accident, he was also present for Lizzie's unfortunate death by waterslide.
Nothing I'd love more than this stupid water slide. Nothing can go wrong. Everything's going wrong!
Lizzie!
So that's how people died this week, but what happened while they were still alive? Fortunately, MCNN's prestigious zoology division has the details on that.
And here we observe the secret lives of players in a death game. The zombie among them makes her own observations about her fellow competitors.
The natural B-dubs suffers from a hideous case of the yes ands. And honestly, he should probably try not to do that.
However, it is not just her own curiosity that motivates her, but a promise of a reward from the secret keeper that they defer to. It is important in an environment like this to be careful in making assumptions about the reasons for a player's behavior. Here, we witness Jimmy moving with shaky steps. It is easy to assume that he is being his normal, clumsy self. However, closer inspection reveals that he is, in fact, in the process of completing a task.
I had to be around people 30 minutes with all my controls messed up.
Players under the influence of a task can behave in many bizarre ways, from strange movements to unusually high affection in order to reach their goal.
Bye, Jem. Love you.
See ya. Good luck at the secret
Yep, love you
keeper.
too. Bye.
There we go. Fun done.
The other players are intrigued after learning about their friend Scott's task. They begin to test their luck with love confessions.
It was
Thank you.
With mixed results.
I love you.
Okay, Etho, I know you're obsessed with me. I saw you made me the thumbnail of your first episode, but come on, Etho, calm down.
A certain player would support every single one of these declarations of love, but only for her task.
Yes, man. You cannot deny any request or question from another player. You must say yes.
Lizzie also supports the safety of the animals on the server. She witnesses the persistent hunting of Scar's camel by Mumbo Jumbo until she can take it no more.
Mumbo, tell me the truth. Are you trying to kill that camel?
I'm not trying to kill the camel.
It's getting real suspicious now.
Using the renowned intelligence of her species, she tricks the camel hunter into leaving, giving her the opportunity to rescue it. She brings it to the Cherry Mountain, where the soft petals of the flowers can do it no harm.
He was hurting the camel. It was in danger.
Oh. What, as in like with fall damage?
In many different ways. In several different ways, actually. It was amazing how many unique ways he was finding to hurt the camel.
But the safety of the camel cannot ensure her own. Without much health left, she seeks safety at Joel's base, but meets her demise after he tells her to go to the top of his base and ride the water slide down. Truly, a tragedy for the ages. During the course of the game, you can observe as some players revert back to animal-like instincts as pack bonding takes on a more literal form.
The big dogs. We're just up there on the big hill. Big dogs up on the big hill.
Perhaps their base in dog-like behavior gives the player a sense of strength and security in this messy game. This team especially will need it as they are the first to become the yellow names.
Yellow big dog.
The big dogs are yellow. Oh, 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 oh. We've got big red dogs like Clifford, and we're big yellow dogs. Oh, 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 oh.
However, the stress of the big dogs is not unique to them. Here we will observe a wild Etho attempting to wash the other players for seemingly no reason.
It's important to stay clean, B-dubs.
While Etho attempts to get his server mates dap, Grian chooses to embrace arson as a method of decoration. Perhaps he is attempting to compensate for a lack of social connection this season. Most of his social interactions seem to occur through Big B practicing a strange ritual of confusing him.
Wait, can you give it back? 1 second.
No, wait, is that a task?
Oh, thanks.
What?
Confused, Grian retreats to the comfort of an egg-shaped house. And so, life goes on for the other players. We'll see you next episode.
Thanks, Lori. In all this talk about nature, you may have wondered where in the world was BOO. Luckily, we kept track.
B-Dubs spent most of the session trying to be hip with the youths, as his secret task made him use a multitude of slang words in conversation. He struggled a bit with trying to find a natural way to use certain words that didn't get immediately noticed, but he did get most of his list done.
All right, time to succeed. I did it. All right, listen up, you little tattletales. Nobody's telling nobody about nothing.
B-Dubs proceeded to mosey on down to his base where he got back to work on his globe. Deciding to scale down, he still wanted to keep the same rad feeling the original had, which led to him doing some very detailed continents. Unfortunately, he ran out of materials, so while his globe has advanced from last week's circle, it's still more of a bowl than a sphere.
Grian also decided that his base didn't pass his vibe check, so he decided to make things a bit more lit.
Oh no! Oh dear! It's all gone horribly wrong. Oh look, the fire has spread!
Resorting to arson as a decorating tool is still a crime, but Grian wasn't the only one committing those this week. Let's go to our field team for our crime report.
Greetings. I'm MCNN's resident consulting detective, Anachronistic Cat, here today with a one-of-a-kind case from the Secret Life server. Our investigations were aided this week by dandelion detectives doing their best to deduce and disrupt the secret plans of the dastardly green names. Detective Martin InTheLittleWood wasted no time in exercising his newfound power, but found it a tough case to crack on his own. Luckily for him and the investigation, this week saw several golden promotions. The first new recruit is Jimmy Solidarity, who was tasked to rebind his movement keys. His murder is one of chance. Only on 1.5 hearts, he meets his fate, jumping off the cherry diving board. It's a cut and dry case, or damp, as it was a drowned who killed him. Martin excitedly invites his fellow big dog to the case, and the pair probe their server mates for information pertinent to their investigation. Jem is the second to be recruited to the agency as she rerolls her task to fix a kerfuffle from last week. It's a two-step job. First, fighting fire with Scott's Major in the Nether. After the battle through Blazes and Enderman, an unfortunate encounter yellows her name, but doesn't divert her from her task. After that, it's a hop back to the overworld, a skip to the stronghold, and no suspicions are raised until her job is complete. Lizzie and Joel succumb to their own flaxen fates and find themselves with new jobs at Butterscotch Lind Yard. Lizzie, slain by a skeleton, and Joel unable to save himself from his own Reichenbach fall.
Just going for it. I'm just going for it.
Joel! Don't!
No! The pair are unfortunately unable to ensnare anyone this week, but based on Lizzie's work on the case of the Candle Caper, the future is sunny.
Hi, Lizzie!
Wow.
How are you?
Scar, drop them and nobody gets hurt.
Etho is embroiled in a game of deception and betrayal this week, but rather than attempting to convince someone he shares their secret, he re-rolled into a temporary investigative internship, charged with figuring out someone's task and preventing them from completing it. He tries with Pearl, convincing her he will help, not hinder, but his uncertainty as to the specifics allows her to complete it. After a bit of subterfuge and sabotage, however, he figures out Tango's task, but can't find an Aurelian investigator to report to until it's too late. Pearl's task, which Etho couldn't quite uncover, was to request an item 5 times in one conversation without ever picking them up, and without anyone noticing she's leaving her requested items behind. Her attempt with Lizzie was interrupted by a summons to spawn, and B-Dubs and Tango stopped playing along before she hit the needed 5th. Luckily, Scott swoops into the conversation, and Pearl is able to run circles around him, dodging the bread she is constantly requesting.
Actually, yeah, can I have the bread? Can I have the bread? Thank you. Can I have the bread?
Let's go. Yeah.
Please can I have the bread? Can I have the bread, Scott?
Folks find this fishy, but she flees to the Secret Keeper before she can be called out. Betrayal abounds in the case of Skizzleman's broken hearts. The culprit uncovered is none other than his best friend, impulseSV. Impulse is far too enthusiastic in his task to take someone down 5 pegs, and takes Skizz down by 20.
Give him Skizz,
Heyo!
whack him. Get that Ender Pearl.
Okay. Hey, badass.
Get him. Oh no!
You suck, dude!
Oh no!
Had he exercised some restraint, he may have gotten away with it, but his impulsivity aroused suspicion and he failed when Skizz called him out. It's always the ones you least suspect. Despite several failures, our Sunflower Sherlocks successfully solved the case of Tango's task. Having been observed as acting anomalously all week, the Yellows come together to solve the case. Evidence points to a quirk with plural self-referral, and a red herring leads some to suspect him of torch theft. But a conversation with Pearl helps Martin crack the case. Tango was plagued by an imaginary friend. Torchy the Torch. So you see, it's elementary, my dears.
Thank you, Anachronistic Cat. I'm glad we don't have to deal with crimes here at MCNN.
Someone stole the outside of our building?
And we've all agreed not to talk about that. There were a lot of confusing and connected tasks this week, so here's our updated task graphic to help everyone remember who had to do what.
And that should be it for this week's Secret Life recap. Thank you all for watching. We'll be back next week for Gem and the Scots' new song. If Gem remembers to write it.
We'll see you next time.